Hey! What was that all about, Susie? What you just did was very dangerous, so can you please be more careful up there?
What is up with you talking to your mother-in-law like that? I didn't drop that flower pot off the edge of the balcony on purpose, you know. It just happened to happen, as an accident is all. My hand just happened to slip while moving the pot, and it fell. And you know us older people tend to have a tough time gripping heavier items as we get older. So you can blame that one on my hands being a little shaky today.
You keep telling me you're not doing it on purpose, but how many times has it been now since you've started doing that? How many times is your hand going to slip while holding those pots off the side of the balcony? Do you need me to come up there and take care of those pots for you?
Well, I'm sorry that I keep losing a hold of them. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's due to your balcony rail being too short, and that leads to me dropping the pots off them too easily. I've told you before that it's pretty dangerous having such short guardrails on your balcony. Every time I lean in to either place a pot down on the rail or pick one up, they happen to slip a little. And sometimes I don't have the strength to hold onto the pot any longer and it just falls.
And I can understand it being an accident if it was only one time that you dropped a pot, but it's been happening over and over, and only when I'm standing down here. If you really are having issues up there, then figure out a way to be more careful before handling the pots again. But I know that you've been doing all of that on purpose, so I doubt you'll ever stop coming out onto that balcony when I'm down here.
Stop trying to accuse me of something that I'm not doing, Melody. All I've been trying to do is help these poor flowers that you have out here look a little better, right? If it weren't for me, they'd all be dead by now, and the front of your house would look terrible with a bunch of dead plants all up on your balcony. So stop saying such rude things about me and be grateful that I'm even helping out.
You telling me you're helping my flowers is a bold claim, considering all you've done so far is drop about half of them from up there. Tell me, Susie, why are you only dropping all those pots only when I'm down here standing up the balcony?
And I'm saying no matter how much you try and question me, there is no good reason for it. It's just something that's been happening with me. All a bad coincidence. Now stop trying to play the victim card here when there is nobody trying to harm you.
Playing the victim card. What would happen if one of those pots were to land on my head? Things won't just end with me getting hurt. My life might be put at risk and everything due to those pots, and I would not be happy if it was due to you dropping them on purpose.
Well, that's only an if, right? So there's no point in continuing this discussion over something that isn't even happening. Not one of the pots that has fallen has hit you yet, so can we stop all of this? I promise that when one does hit you, that we can start to talk about what's happened.
I can't believe this. You don't even seem to be worried about what you're doing. If you're just going to continue dropping pots on me, then I don't think I can live with you anymore.
Well, if that's how you feel, then go right ahead and leave this house. I mean, it wouldn't hurt me any, considering you are a pretty useless wife. So if you were going to leave this house right now, it would go unnoticed, even by my son.
I knew it! I knew you were doing all of this as a way of getting me to leave the house. I don't mind you picking on me every now and again, but if you're going to start to try and harm me as a way of showing that you don't like me, that's where I'm drawing the line. Well, I don't want to be the one to leave this house, and I won't. I'll be bringing all of this up with Eric really soon.
Go right ahead and let him know about this. I haven't been dropping those pots on purpose, so he won't think anything of me.
What is wrong with you? Seriously, Susie?
So another flower pot fell from the balcony and almost hit you? I can't believe this crap. That old bag is really starting to show her age and probably needs to be left inside.
It's not because of her old age, Eric. She's been doing it on purpose when I'm under the balcony. This time was the third time it's happened. And she's never dropped them any other time besides when I'm standing right there underneath the balcony doing chores. Can you please say something to her about all of this? So far, I've had luck on my side, never taking one of those pots to my head. But at some point, my luck is going to run out and one of those pots is going to hit my head and I'll be done for.
Well, even if you tell me to, that old bag is telling me that she's not doing it on purpose, so I can't do much to stop her, right? And to be honest, she's always been kinda clumsy, so this is all just a part of who she is as my mother.
Well, if for whatever reason all of this has been an accident, we still need to address the fact that she's dropping pot after pot off the edge of the balcony, and it's both dangerous and costing us money. This is a serious problem, Eric.
Well, if you want me to think up something, let's do something about the guardrail up there being a bit too short. But look, getting that rail replaced will only cost us more money, right? Way more than just letting her drop a few $1 pots.
Then how about we just tell your mom that she's no longer allowed to go on the balcony? It's been dangerous to let her keep going out there without us doing anything, right?
But my mom loves to take care of flowers and plants like she's been doing. It's her one hobby that keeps her from getting bored. If we take that hobby away from her, she'd be left with pretty much nothing, right? Ever since Dad died, she's been left by herself and has a lot of time on her hands, which she likes to spend out there on the balcony.
If she wants to be with her flowers and plants, let's just put them all around the garden instead of on the balcony. Why does she have to be up there to take care of all of her plants? No matter how you try and think of it, the only reason for her wanting to be up there is to drop those dang pots on my freaking head.
Come on. My mom already told me. She said that having the plants on the balcony gives them more access to direct sunlight, and the flowers will bloom more vibrantly.
Whether she has them on the balcony or the ground around our garden, the sunlight is the exact same. She's just making up crap now. You're always on your mother's side, aren't you?
Well, I'm not trying to be on my mom's side with everything. It's just that this time, I really don't believe that old bag is doing anything like dropping pots off the balcony around you on purpose. She is a very kind woman, and she's taken great care of me ever since I was a little baby.
Whatever. I'm just wasting my time now talking with you about how your mom wants to kill me. Go right ahead and then suck up to your mom, because that's all you're good at.
Wait a second. You're being a baby now. Hey, Melody. Come on now.
Again with this, Susie. Do you mind being a bit more careful when you're up there?
I'm oh so sorry. Once again, my hand just happened to slip. I am trying my best right now to be careful when handling this very large pot.
I can't believe you'd wait for me to come home from work just to drop that pot near my head. You knew that I'd be right under the balcony at this time, and that's why you let it loose.
I've told you to quit it with all that talk about me. All that's been happening recently is that my hands lose their grip on the pot and it falls right down to the ground beneath the balcony. I'm not purposefully doing it or anything. I promise. But was that the last one so close to your head? Just a little bit more to the left and I could have had you.
Stop all of that right now.
Oh my. It just happened to slip out of my hands is all. I didn't mean to drop that pot next to you on purpose. So please stop trying to act like I'm doing any of this to you. I'm getting really tired of you being a little baby about all of this.
If next time you hit me, I swear to God.
What? What'll happen if next time I do manage to hit you on the head? Are you trying to threaten me right now? Scary. I might have had to take you to court for trying to threaten me like that. Huh.
Go right ahead and try taking me to court.
Hey, what's gotten into you, Melody? I was just joking with you about that, yet you can't seem to take a simple joke. Maybe you need to take a pot to the head every once in a while to help calm your serious butt down.
Is that you telling me you really have been trying to hit me in the head with those pots?
I never said that I've been wanting to hit you in the head or anything. But if you don't want to be hit in the head by me, get out of this house then. I'm totally fine with you going away for good. But of course, if you leave my son, you'll have to kiss his income goodbye and live off your own money.
Sure. And that's why I'm going to leave. Living in this place with you is not worth any part of my health or even my life for that matter. I can't wait to be free of all these worries once I'm out of here.
So then get out of here, Melody.
Hey, Melody! Where the hell are you right now? There's been an accident here. Right now my mom has been taken away in an ambulance.
Oh? What happened to her?
It looks as though she fell from the balcony and hurt herself really badly. I'm not sure all the details yet of how this could have happened to her. But she fell off the balcony while holding a flower pot in one of her hands. And one of our neighbors heard the sound of her falling and called 911 right away.
Is that so?
Is that so? You! Are you not worried right now about the state that my mom is in? That old bag ended up losing a lot of blood in that fall and is unconscious right now. At this point, I wouldn't put this accident past being her last.
Well, that was bound to happen, right? I've heard that recently the balcony has been pretty easy to slip on, and that might be the reason why she fell. Haha.
You... What the hell are you laughing about? This can't be. Don't tell me.
Don't tell you what, Eric? Are you starting to think that maybe I was the one to push her off that balcony?
Well, look.
Why would I ever do that to your mom, Eric? Especially since she is your mom, after all. But I will say this. It kind of feels good knowing that she fell off that balcony for once. Thank goodness. Happened to her before she could do anything to harm me.
Why the hell are you saying all of that? I knew it. You were the one that pushed her off the balcony and put her in this horrible state. It couldn't have been anyone else, and you're even laughing about all of this now.
It's been weeks and weeks of her dropping pots on or near my head on purpose. Only when I'm underneath the balcony. And when I told you that she was in fact trying to hurt me, you never batted an eye. Yet, when she falls off the balcony and has to be taken to the hospital in an ambulance, you're pretty quick to turn around and blame me, right? Such a great husband you are!
No, wait!
Eric? Do you even know where you stand right now? I'll just give you a hint. Where you stand right now, you could have your job taken away from you at any minute.
You can say all you want about that, but there's no way. Right? We promised that we'd never hold anything against one another within the company, and that's why I was okay taking that job from you. I had other companies that I was looking forward to interviewing for, but you told me that I should come and join yours.
Huh? You had a bunch of other interviews to look forward to, did you? That's strange, because what I remember is you couldn't find anyone to interview you for around 6 months, and that's why I offered you a job within my company. So what is this about other companies? And by the way, the one that took you and your mother in while you were jobless was no one else but me, right?
And I feel really bad for having to make you take us both in.
Therefore, you should be very thankful that I was willing to let you join my company and shouldn't be too hasty to blame me for something I didn't do. The fact that you even have time to be your mom's ally all the time is disgusting.
You were never this strict about things before. I think that you've changed from the woman I once loved and married.
Well, when someone has to go through multiple life-threatening events like having heavy pots fall on their head, they tend to change a little. Now, from now on, I'd like you to understand your position a bit better and listen to what I say to you instead of what your mother wants you to believe.
But that's... You and I are husband and wife, right? We are supposed to be equal in our relationship, right? What you're saying is...
If things are supposed to be as equal as you say they should be, then maybe you should have listened to me when I said your mom was dropping those pots on purpose. But of course, that won't ever make any sense to you since you're such a mama's boy. Well, if you don't want to go back to being unemployed and with a mother who will be disappointed in you after losing your job, then listen to what I say. Okay? If you end up losing your job, I'm no longer going to be nice to you and hide everything from your mom. Do you understand?
I understand.
Susie? How are you feeling now that it's been a couple of days since your accident? I hear that you really did a number on both your legs this time around. I'm sure they still hurt quite a bit, don't they?
You. What is up with that attitude of yours?
You're asking me what's up with it? Well, I'm just really happy is all. Seeing that someone like you has finally suffered from what you were trying to serve me, well, it makes me all warm and fuzzy inside.
You have no right saying something like that to someone who just had to be taken to the hospital. You knew about how there was a very high chance I never woke up again after what had happened to me, right?
Of course I knew about that. And that's why I sympathize with you right now. I'm sure had one of those flower pots you tried dropping on me actually hit my head, I'd have been in the same boat as you. Having a chance of never waking up ever again.
You were blowing things way too out of proportions there. You never even got hit in the head anyway.
That's right. I had some pretty good luck with me and never had to take a pot to my head. Susie, you were really trying hard to hit me in the head with those pots, right?
I've told you plenty of times now that all of that was not on purpose. Recently, I've just been having a lot of trouble holding on to those pots. And this past week, the rain had been nonstop, making everything on that balcony slippery. There are even times when you're not under the balcony where I will drop one of those pots on accident. So stop trying to make up loads of lies like that about me.
Of course, for a while there I was thinking about how I might have been overreacting, thinking that maybe I was just trying to be the victim. And that's why, to make sure I wasn't just making things up in my own head, I set up some security cameras overlooking the balcony to see what all was really going on.
Huh?
I've seen every time you've taken one of those pots in your hands recently and waited for me to pass under you to chuck them down at me.
That might have just been the sun's light reflecting off the camera lens.
And of course, with it just being video of you doing that to me, someone might say the excuse that the sunlight might have distorted the image. Or that the lens was too dirty and you couldn't see the picture clearly. So, there really is no point to me having those videos at all, right? However, because of that, I made sure to have the sound recorded as well. Even if the ground is always under the balcony, you can still hear all the sounds of the pots crashing down below.
You didn't just record the video, but you had the audio recorded from those events as well? Why would you go as far as to record the sound like that? I would never do anything.
Are you sure? I missed again. That short line of words coming out of your mouth is very easy to pick up from the recordings.
That was just me saying that it was a good thing that those missed. That's all. I have not been trying to hit you in the head with those pots, I swear.
Is that so? Well, that's interesting to hear, especially when after watching and listening to those recordings over and over showed me the opposite. Well, no matter. Because it does not mean anything to me what you think you were doing or saying, as I'm still going to use both the video and audio recordings as evidence when I take you to court and sue you.
What? You'd sue me. But all of that isn't going to be good enough evidence for you if you take it to court. I told you a billion times already that I didn't do any of that on purpose.
Also, I took a strangely interesting video a few days ago. Do you want to see it? It's from 3 days ago on that night.
I don't want to see it at all. I haven't done anything at all, so why would I care to see your videos?
You haven't done anything at all, huh? You seem to really like to say that about all of this, Susie. Well, I don't believe one word of that. And do you know why? Because in this video, I have you down on all fours rubbing lotion and lubricant all over the balcony as though you were trying to make it all slippery. Ha!
What?
I'm assuming you were doing all of that in order to get me to slip and fall off the balcony, correct? But I guess that following day you totally forgot about what you'd done out there. And so, as you went out onto the balcony to start tending to your plants and wait for me to come out and drop a pot on me, you slipped and fell over the edge. That's at least how I remember those videos going after watching them plenty of times, but does that string of events sound right to you?
I never meant for any of that, though. I'm serious.
I don't need to hear that from you anymore, Susie. I've already seen all I needed and heard everything I've needed to as well. And it's very clear to me that you were indeed trying to hurt me. Now, good luck with trying to get your legs back to the way they were before the fall!
What is all of this? You.
Hey Mom, it's me, Eric. Listen, I was just wondering if you'd be willing to just own up to you having dropped those pots on Melody on purpose for me.
What? What are you saying to me right now, Eric?
She told me that if you confess, she'll let all of this go. And that you writing that down on a document for her would lead her to not having to take you to court.
There's no way she's telling the truth. She wants me to confess to all of that just so that she can take me to court and sue me. What's happened to you? Is Melody starting to threaten my own baby boy now?
I'm only asking you to do all of this for your sake, you old bag. Now, please just confess to all that you've been doing. There's already enough video evidence of what you've been up to. So just coming out with your true intentions will make the outcome a whole lot better for you. I don't want for you to be taken away from me forever, Mom.
Eric? But I'm...
Melody made it very clear to me that if you're not going to own up to what you've been doing, that she'll sue you for every penny you have. And if she's able to do that to you, then things between you and I will be over. You understand that, right? Tell her that you were trying to drop those pots on her head, and that you were the one to lube up the balcony to try and get her to fall off. Just hurry up and confess, Mom.
All right, already, I'll confess. I was trying my hardest to get those pots to land on her head every time she came beneath the balcony. And to try and get her to fall off the balcony the next time she came out onto it, I rubbed lotion and lubricant all over the place.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Mom. I've been so good for nothing. And now you're going to have to pay for it.
What do you mean, sorry? What will I have to pay for? What is going on right now, Eric? Hey, please respond to me, Eric. Hey, what the hell is going on here?
Susie, I see that you're finally out of the hospital. Well, I'm on my way right now to come and pick you up from there, okay?
Hey, I've had enough of this, okay? I've already tried asking my son to come and help me, so please just stay away from me and let him come get me.
No can do, old lady. Right now, Eric is on his way back into work, and I'd never let him take time off to come out and get you. And since it's the job that I've had him relocated to for a while, he won't be coming back anytime soon to see any of us.
What do you mean you relocated him to another job for a while? Where the hell has my son gone?
I can't tell you that much. That's all a secret related to my company and a few others. And since he's my employee, I'd never, ever tell you where he's gone for work, as it might compromise everything.
Huh? He's your employee.
You didn't know that? Well, I suppose you couldn't have known, since I've been hiding that truth from you ever since he found himself a job. Or should I say, ever since I found him a job that would take him. He didn't want you to be disappointed in him for having to either be unemployed or working for me, so we both kept that back from you.
Is that right? He should have just told me that he was a part of your company now. Then there could have been a completely different outcome here. How pathetic.
However, me keeping all of this a secret from you only led him to becoming more of a mama's boy and never believed that you could do anything wrong. So, I broke our promise of keeping this all a secret from you so that I could finally get you to understand the reality here.
Huh? So that means that you've just broken a promise with your husband, my son.
That's right!
What the hell? There is something seriously messed up with you.
Calling me messed up? How rude, Susie! I was just coming around to being okay with being your caretaker and everything while you're in that wheelchair. And it's going to be around 6 months that you have to stay in that wheelchair, right? Oh, I am just so excited to be in control of everything you do.
No. What's going to happen with Eric then? He'll be coming back really soon from work, right?
Well, from what I've heard, it'll be at least a 6-month-long transfer at that other job. So, you won't be seeing him until after you're out of the chair. But he said he'd do whatever it'd take to make sure you're okay, and that is all a part of it. Ha!
Don't tell me that you're holding me hostage.
Calling yourself a hostage now? How awful you must be to say such a thing about this whole situation. No matter how you try and view all of this, Eric is just being a good mama's boy by working away from home for a while to keep you happy. And not I'll be able to have so much fun with you. Just you and me.
What the hell? What is all of this? What are you? No way. I'm not going to go back to living together with you again. I'd rather live in this world on my own if it meant being far away from you.
Hold on. You can't just try running away from me now, Susie. I have a whole lot of evidence showing that you were going to try and harm me in multiple different ways. So, if you try running from me, well...
You're making that all seem a lot less worse than it was. I never actually wanted to harm you. Not that badly, at least.
Oh, you think so? Well, that'll all be up to the jury to decide if things have to come to that, Susie. And I'm sure that, unlike you, they won't see something like what you were trying to do as not being harmful to me. So, If you do try and take a step outside my house, we are going to have the most fun we've ever had together in that courtroom.
Ugh, You're seriously... Is this your way of getting revenge on me or something?
Revenge? What are you talking about now, Susie? Why would I ever want to get revenge on you? I've already told you that I'm doing all of this as a way of making sure you and I have some fun alone time together. Just the two of us. You can just forget about your son for a while now, and come join me as we both live together under that roof, enjoying every moment of it together. That's right! The two of us can go out onto the balcony this time and really enjoy all of that gardening you've always been telling Eric and I you love so much. How does that sound, Susie?
I'm sorry. Melody, I swear to God that I'll act differently now after all of this. I'm so sorry.
It's a little too late now for you to come to me with those words. And it's not like you need to apologize to me anyway, because I've already forgiven you, Susie. Now just you and I can look forward to living under one roof together.
I don't... No way. I don't want to live with you alone. I want Eric there too.
Stop getting so worked up over this. Nothing about what we're going to do together is going to be scary. I promise. And you know how good I am with promises now, right? Oh, that's right! You told me before that taking a pot to the head might get me to settle down a bit, right? Well, how about when we get home, I drop a pot on your head? After that, I arrived at the hospital and picked up my mother-in-law in her wheelchair from the hospital before going back home. I told her that I'd forgiven her already for everything, which I had. And so before making it home, we went out shopping, and then at home we went out onto the balcony together to have some fun. And we would do this day after day with one another, having the best time of our lives. Susie was so used to giving her son all her love and receiving the same from him, and she let me know just how much she missed him. But Eric still has a while before he'd be coming home, so I told her to get used to life without him in the house for a change. And of course, I think it will be a lot longer than half a year before he's back home, since I made sure he had to work for that other company for at least a year. But that should give me more than enough time to have fun with his mom, and make sure that she's happy being alone here with just me. There have been a few times now where she tries to run away from me by going out the front door, but I've put a stop to all that pretty quickly. All I had to do was lock the door from the outside and did the same with the back door, and now there's no way for her to leave the house again, unless she tries going over the balcony again. Tonight we are going to have a little remembrance party together, where we can relive those moments where she tried to hurt me with those flower pots or the lube on the balcony. And we'll start by watching all those videos I recorded again, so that the memories are fresh in our minds.